Hello and welcome to Real World Leadership, where we're bringing our best selves to life and leadership. I'm your host, Susan Johnson, founder of Truth Enterprise Partners, a talent development consulting and coaching firm based here in Atlanta, Georgia, where we focus on executive coaching, leadership development, and diversity and inclusion. Our vision is to inspire a world where truth, authenticity, and diversity are valued. And our aim is to bring out the true potential in people. It's what drives us to get up every day and do our best, and we hope to bring out the true potential in you. Thank you all for joining us. We're in series 2. This is Real World Leadership Podcast, and this season is all about growth in a real world leadership way. So we're going to talk about stories of vulnerability, exuberant expressions of where we've opened ourselves up as leaders to share our successes, our mistakes, our failures. What I often say is when we skin our knees, we're going to talk about that. But the main thing is about how we got up and how we persevered, what we learned from it and how we move forward. So our point is not to get stuck in our situation and circumstances, but to learn from them as leaders and to share them with others, because as leaders, we're still humans. We still have emotions, and it's okay to be open and sharing with this in mind. So today we have Roseanne McDonald with us in Real World Leadership, and she's going to share her unique story. Roseanne and I have been friends and colleagues for a number of years. Gosh, Roseanne, it's probably been at least 20 plus.
Yes, ma'am.
Roseanne and I have been uniquely challenged with being just a couple of African-American or Caribbean-American women that have worked for financial services companies. And so our careers have kind of crossed paths a number of times. And we've often found ourselves looking at the same jobs because we have a lot of similar interests as well. So Roseanne comes to us as a senior executive in the financial services industry. And I thank her for being a good colleague and friend over the years. And Roseanne, I'll just ask, is there anything that you'd like to share with our audience in terms of an introduction or anything about you that you might want to share with them?
Well, thank you so much, Susan, for allowing me to be part of your podcast. I so appreciate our friendship, and it goes back a long way to your point. Enough about that, but about me. I'm a truth teller, and I really want to be authentic in this moment, and hopefully somebody learns something from my experience. And all I can tell you is, hard times come, difficult times come, but they do make you stronger, and they position you for success in ways that you couldn't imagine.
Absolutely. And thank you for the notion and the nod to truth, because that's what we're all about here at Truth Enterprise Partners, and being authentic, so you're really speaking the language of the vision that we want to create in our world, so people can be themselves and feel free to be themselves and be able to share their truth. So with that being said, this being the forum for lessons in leadership, Roseanne, what's the story that you'd like to share with our audience today?
Well, I've got so many, but I've selected one, a particular one that goes back quite a few years. And this was a difficult period in my life because I really followed the process, followed the script that was laid out for me as if you do these, let's say 5 things, if you attain these levels, you will be next in line for X. And I believed it, embraced it, and wholeheartedly worked very hard to accomplish what was asked of me. And if anybody knows me, I always give 150%. And so I followed that path and was in line for the next opportunity, which was, running an office. And I truly believed that it would happen because my mentor, my support team, my village, the folks that I relied on for guidance, for mentorship, for coaching, led me to believe that would be true. And of course, in financial services, there are very few people at high levels that look like me back then. A lot has changed over the years, but it was still a novelty. And so, I thought I had the skill, I had the preparation, I had the accomplishments, all the requirements. And so just a matter of timing.
Uh-huh.
When the right opportunity revealed itself, I would be next in line.
Uh-huh.
I wholeheartedly believe that. And preparation is everything. So I laid all the groundwork. I did all the requirements of me, and I spent time working in different offices, honing my skills and getting acclimated to what this role would look like if I were to step into it. And then the opportunity came after I had done all the work, and the opportunity came, and I was so sure that it would be me. Without a shadow of a doubt. I had prayed, I had prepared, and they say preparation plus opportunity equals success, right?
Right.
So I've done it. And I happened to be doing some work in another office on a Saturday morning. I was giving of myself, my time, my talent, because I believed it. And
So you were volunteering and doing work in those offices as part of your preparation.
correct.
That's true.
Correct.
Okay.
Part of that was, to get acclimated, learning the skills, also being part of the training curriculum, ensuring that I was present and that they understood that I was serious about this next step. And so it was a Saturday morning. I hadn't heard anything. I'd done the interview and done everything. And I got a phone call right after I was finished. Maybe it was after 11 that Saturday morning. I got a phone call from a senior leader. And he basically said that I did not get the position. There was not clarity as to why. It was just Roseanne, we decided to go a different direction. And the thing that hurt the most was the fact that he was in a drive-through, because I could hear him making his orders for his small children. And it was in between that he chose to call me and give me this news that would shake me and kind of alter the way I felt about everything that I had done. And so I received it and I was shocked and stunned, but it was just very matter of fact, this is what happened and you didn't get the job, and we've decided to go a different direction, and that was it. And I got off the phone and I felt like a zero. That was, I did not see or feel that coming at all. And even though I know that, sometimes you don't get positions, every requirement had already been done, mastered, positioned.
All boxes checked.
Absolutely. You can check, not only locally, but I had done supporting other firms across the country. So it wasn't
clearly
as if,
qualified, clearly
so it
had the
wasn't
experience. Okay.
I just felt like, wow, this is devastating. They made a bad decision, in my opinion, but also it was devastating for me because I felt duped. That's how I walked away. I felt, wow, that was not the way this was supposed to play out. And so I questioned my own gullibility, if you want to call it. I said, wow, Roseanne, you believe hype, and the hype is not what it's supposed to be. And so I left the office, and I am not a crier. And I would say that I am usually the stoic one in the family. And I kind of get whenever bad things happen, I'm all about, okay, let's find a solution. What's the plan? Who's going to do what? Okay, you do this, I do that. And I was very vulnerable in the moment.
Yes.
I remember driving my car down the highway and just weeping because I felt it was sad. It was not what I expected. And so the one thing that I always do, I just got very deep and spiritual and say, you know what? God has another plan. If this door is closed, there has to be a better door to be open. There's another plan. There's another door. Perhaps this was not the right timing. And then I called my brother.
Okay.
I have a brother that's in financial services. He's on the banking side, and we are very close over the years. And he's now a pastor. At the time, I don't think he was, but I called him, and with with the tear-filled my eyes. I couldn't get all the words out, but he understood
Uh-huh.
what I was trying to say. And he just comforted me and told me, Roseanne, it's going to get better. And I can tell you, as I reflect on that period in my life and that time and today,
Uh-huh.
if you live long enough on this earth, right?
Right.
You're going to have disappointment.
Sure.
You're going to have missed opportunities. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have things that didn't go the way that you had planned. And I say that with smiling today because, God has another plan. And so if we get stuck when those failures happen or when those situations don't play out the way we want to, we can miss important lessons. We can miss important opportunities to grow and to find a clear path and find our purpose and find the thing that will inspire others. And so I say that today, knowing fully well that Roseanne is different than this Roseanne.
Okay.
Because it made me stronger and made me determined that I would be an encouragement to someone. I would tell the story and I'd ensure that the end of that story is way better than the beginning of that story. And so, you said something when you started was, we fall down. And I had written on your paper, we fall down, but we get up.
Yes.
So, it was a moment in time when I think about it. And it's not what happens to you. It's really what you do with it that matters. And how that either changes you or prepares you much better for the next opportunity or even the next failure. And so when I reflect on that time and how things have changed in, let's say, 24 years, or at least 20 years, I'm in a way better position than I ever was. And the lessons that I have learned is that I can be resilient. I can rise above those struggles and challenges, and I can wrap it with a wrapping of, there is purpose in all of this. There's a plan in all of this. And don't question the fact that it happened. It didn't break you, but it empowered you and prepared you for what's coming next. So if you know me well enough, one of my famous sayings is always next, right?
Ain't that the truth? I've heard
It's
that.
always kind of like, okay, that happened, next.
Yes.
I tell it to my girls. I have 2 daughters and I tell them the same thing. Tough times will come, but you'll get through it. If I can get through it, you can get through it. You will get through it. And so I'm a better leader. I'm a better mom. I'm a better friend because I can share this story with them and let them know that you too can rise above it, get through it, be stronger for it. And don't get so locked into that one opportunity. There are many more that will come along the way that will be better. You will find a situation that allows you to be the best version of yourself, not to be cliched, but to be the best version of yourself. And that's all I really wanted. I really wanted to help, support, empower, and make an impact with whether it be women or a group of advisors. And I do that today on a much higher level. And I'm so appreciative for the lesson learned that, it's you will have these bumps in the road, if you want to call them. And that crying girl on the highway, that weeping girl, I really wasn't crying, is stronger. And tears are okay. Tears are God's language to let you know, you're human.
Yes.
It hurts. It hurt. And all I can tell you is I am a much better version of myself. I know my purpose even more. I spent a lot of time today working with women and helping them navigate some landmines in corporate America or even in their own businesses. I'm not a coach per se, but I am a mentor. And I share my story every opportunity I get. And I'll give you a little anecdote. I was talking to another lady who works for another firm, and I think you know who it is. And she was on my mind, and I happened to call her. And I said to her, "You're on my mind. I'm calling you because," and I shared her why. And she says, "How did you know?" And I just started talking to her, and she just started crying on the phone. And she said, I can't believe you knew what I was going through. I said, no, I'm just telling you my story. And I'm telling you this because you can get past this. You will be stronger, better, a much better advisor, a much better mom because of what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
So don't knock the process
Mm-hmm.
or knock the persons who are part of the process.
Right.
Just know that on the other side, greater is coming.
Greater is coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Thank you, Roseanne, for sharing their story. I'm so glad that you're sharing it with others too. And through sharing with us, this will be heard by, hundreds of people, thousands of people all over the globe. So thank you for sharing, and sharing, you know, that in that moment, how you rebounded in the moment. For some, when we have adversity or setbacks, situations and circumstances is what I say all the time. You are not our situation or our circumstance.
That's right.
But sometimes when you're in that, you don't recognize it. But you, in that moment, as you're weeping down the road, you have that resilience, that quick recovery time. And I talk about that often when coaching people about that recovery. What's the recovery like, and how do you want to respond? Because we have these feelings. You talked about feeling like a zero, feeling like you'd been duped, and really acknowledging those feelings that you experienced in that moment. And again, having time to process it, not even having time to process it in that moment because someone was ordering drive-through, right? So you didn't even have time to even ask questions. I don't even know what you were thinking in that moment about, what could I have done differently or better? Or, what was the deciding factor? What was my miss when you were so prepared? So did you ever figure out what was the differentiator? Not that it matters at this point anyway, but I'm curious as to, with all the preparation, you said 150%, that was you.
I don't think they could tell me. It was just
different direction. And how often do we hear that, right?
It was just, they made a decision and they went, instead of going right, they went left.
Yeah, and it could have been, I guess, you get to the point where it's 50-50, chance you want to get at least a few candidates, or 30-30, 30-33, whatever. But yeah, so you don't know what that deciding factor could be, but what you can do, what's in your control, is to be prepared, right?
Well, absolutely. And the one other thing too is having that village, having people that you can call, people that can counsel you, whether they're your coach or your mentors, or I just call it the village, the circle. That you can tap into, and that somebody will give you that additional clarity that you need. Very often we can spend time in our own selves, having that pity party, but I knew that I had to make that phone call. And I know I would be reassured because that's who he has always been for me.
Your brother, who was that trusted confidant.
That trusted confidant and trusted
part of your
village.
Was
that person that was clear and full of wisdom. That would, they say, Roseanne, dry your tears. Guess what? There's something
right, and that wisdom is so necessary when you think about how you need to elevate up to that wisdom perspective versus kind of deflated zero, as you called it, to kind of elevate and lift you up. And I love the fact too that you, again, what I heard in this story was really about your bounce back, your resiliency, and how you move from, okay, this is happening, to, okay, what do I need to do, and how do I move to what's next, what's coming for me, something else is coming for me, I need to get on about my business, to what that is. So you acknowledged it, you spent some time with it, and built that resilience to bounce back.
No, that's very true. And it's not to say that I didn't feel some pain afterwards over time, but it's become less of a negative story and more of a positive story, if you want to call it.
Yes.
It's kind of, I went through that because I had to get here. And that was my journey to get here. Where here is.
Yes. Okay. Very good. And so, and then in that, you found your purpose, and that purpose to helping other women navigate these spaces
Yes,
as a
ma'am.
mentor to them to help them be prepared via your story.
Yes.
Okay. So if there was one thing that you would do differently or better, kind of in hindsight, if anything,
Hmm.
what was that one thing?
Hmm. Um, I guess I would go back and ask the why,
Hmm.
but I didn't at that point. It was a
You just
decision
let
was
it go.
made. I had to learn to get past it.
Hmm.
But as I thought about it, maybe there were some things I could have learned differently, but I don't want to say I didn't care. It didn't matter.
It no longer mattered.
It didn't matter. So even
Mhm.
if I knew what the why was,
Right. It
it
wouldn't
didn't
change
matter.
the outcome.
It
Right.
didn't matter because a decision was already made. And
Hmm.
we always talk about your purpose and your why as to, what we do in life, right? You
Hmm.
just,
Yes.
God allows you to navigate to that. And so today I can say I'm stronger
Hmm.
and better prepared. And, I just shrugged things off like next.
It's your motto. Yes, I have heard that a number of times for sure. Well, Roseanne, I want to thank you so much for sharing with us your wisdom, sharing your story. And my hope is that at least one person that's listening and within earshot of us today will learn from your experience. And I really appreciate you joining us today.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Susan. I
Thank
appreciate your
you.
time as well.
Okay. So we are going to close. And as we prepare to close, I just want to do a quick plug and a reminder that at Truth Enterprise Partners, we are helping individuals, business owners, leaders discover their true potential with consulting and coaching. We have tools to help you, techniques, expertise. We've got it. So if you'd like to learn more about us and how we might be able to help you, give us a call. Or you can schedule some time with us via the web at truthenterprisepartners.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Truth Enterprise Partners. And then share this information with someone that might need to hear it. So find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all of those podcast platforms, YouTube. You can find us anywhere. Just search Truth Enterprise Partners. You'll find us, and please share with someone that needs to hear this message. And Roseanne can be found on LinkedIn. You can find Roseanne at ROSE space ANN McDonald, capital McDonald. So that's Roseanne McDonald. I want to spell it so you get it right. You can find her on LinkedIn. If you have any questions or for her, or if you'd like her to come and share her story with someone at your organization. So again, Roseanne, thank you for sharing your views with our audience today. We appreciate you being our guest. And we thank you all as well for joining and being such a great audience. This has been Real World Leadership with your host, moderator, and leadership guru. I'm Susan Johnson. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you again real soon.